Thank you so much for keeping it locked to the Big 94 with my brother Kenneth Reed today. And it's Career Tuesday, Kenneth. So, we're going to talk some careers. And you know what? In today's Career Corner, we're discussing how people choose their career paths and the pressures, Kenneth, that often shape those decisions.
Some people are still not doing what they would really want to do. Some people don't know.
Some people still don't know.
Yeah, they don't know.
If what they're doing is actually what they should be doing.
Right.
That's so true. Well, for many years, certain professions were viewed as the only markers of success. But the modern workforce has expanded, and there are now many, many different ways to build a fulfilling and financially rewarding career. Joining us now is a career coach, Ben Green of My Coach Ben, who works with individuals and corporations on personal development, career decision-making, and professional growth. We say good afternoon, and thank you so much for joining us, Sir Ben Green.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much for having me on.
It is our pleasure. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today. And I'm going to start right where Kenneth and I started with our banter during the introduction. There are many people out there who are still so unsure about what career choice they're in, or they're still kind of questioning whether or not the career choice they made is the right one for them. Yeah, it's such a big decision. When people think about successful careers, there are certain professions that always seem to come up, especially in this part of the world where we're from, in Jamaica. It was always the traditional careers, the lawyers, the doctors, the engineers. But times have changed, Sir Ben.
Yes, definitely. As you said, there's a lot of pressure on people to go into, the likes of the law, finance, etc., doctors, of course. But over the last 10, 15 years, the world has changed a lot. We've seen a lot of changes technologically. We've seen the emergence of the internet and all of the possibilities that come with that, the likes of kind of influencers and what have you. A profession which is probably still in a lot of doubt in many corners. But yes, the world of work has changed quite substantially. And a lot of the traditional jobs have also changed as well.
That's so true. But it seems to me that there's a systematic change that needs to happen as well, Ben. Even now I'm having a discussion with my son. He's in third form in high school here. And, he's at that point where they now have to choose the subjects that they have to do their qualification exams on. And you're being informed that, you should try to choose the subjects that best suit you, best suit the career that you're thinking about. But my son is at the age where he's still not sure, what the career should be. It's such a difficult thing, but where would you put us? What should people do in terms of, try to releasing some of that pressure in terms of a career choice? If you have, for instance, a high schooler right now, what should you be thinking about, Ben?
Yeah, interesting. I think when it comes down to a profession or a direction that fits, it's important that one chooses the direction or the profession that matches their personality, let's say. So historically, a lot of people may have gone into the kind of professions that we've just mentioned, mainly out of, let's say, family pressures or expectations. But these days, I think there are many more options available. And your son being in at this particular age, which is quite important, very important. And there are jobs around now which weren't around, when you or I were at school. So there are many more options now. There's a lot more information as well. And this is why it's important that when you're embarking on a career, it's important that you do some soul searching. Try and find out, the things that make you tick as a person, and then see if you can match these with a profession which is going to be fulfilling going forward.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? You're not sure what's going to be so fulfilling going forward. But I like what you said about matching it with your personality. It does mean that will give you some legs in terms of, how much do you like this or that? What are some of the dangers in choosing a career mainly because of its reputation rather than whether it truly suits you? We're just talking about personality. What are some of the dangers in choosing something that's just for the money and the glamour rather than, befitting into your personality or what you like to do?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's something that comes up a lot in terms of coaching discussions. And what I find is when people, you go through life, you go to school, you study, you finish, and you follow whichever course you may have felt you go in. And what I found in late 30s, early to mid 40s, they say life begins at 40. And then people begin to kind of say, maybe I'm not really cut out for this profession. And this is something that I see on a fairly regular basis. There's a lot of discussions I have around career changes. And for example, there are people that have gone into maybe finance or law with a certain expectation. And a lot of professions come with their own challenges. And sometimes, as I said before, I find a lot of people then they're maybe not cut out for the particular profession that they've chosen. And fortune favours the brave. Often you need to take a leap of faith, obviously with a certain plan. But this happens quite often that people find themselves stuck in a rut, let's say, and it can lead to other pressures as well, personally and family-wise, etc. Yeah.
What are you advising, folks in terms of young professionals these days? We see that of course, the needs are changing out there, and there's skills that are some traditional skills that are in demand now more than ever. Skilled professionals like electricians, plumbers, those people seem to be doing quite fine now. Skilled trades and technical careers are increasingly in demand. Why are these types of skills becoming so valuable in today's workforce?
It's interesting because what we've found over the last, I'd say maybe 20 years without showing my age, is that there's been a move towards, for example, if you take the UK, over the last 20 to 25 years, there's been an explosion in the people going to university, for example, whereas before people would have gone to maybe a technical college and learnt the trade, whereas now people go to university and they follow whether it's sort of marketing or something which is a bit more kind of sexy, let's say.
Right.
But you and I both know that if you try to find a plumber these days, especially late at night, or you need some electrical work done at short notice, good luck. And that's what's happened over the last, I would say, in the last 15 to 20 years. A lot of the skilled trades have actually fallen out of fashion, if you like. And people have maybe tended to head towards more professional, or maybe things which are perceived as being a bit more lucrative. But I can tell you, I don't know a poor plumber.
Yeah, I was just about to say it might just be a perception because these,
Exactly.
Yeah. How can someone, Ben? How can someone identify, feel? What is it that they should do to choose the right career for them? What parts of their characteristics, character traits? How should they be, evaluating themselves?
Themselves. What I usually do is when people approach me with this particular question, is to say, well, look, you need some self-awareness. And we've all heard the expression where people say, Kenneth, he's driven. And this is very nice. But as I often mention on my podcast, the question actually that follows up is, what am I driven by? Driven by what? And this is the key. If you're driven by, you can be driven by money, you can be driven by recognition, you could be somebody who likes working with numbers, or somebody who likes working in the sort of crafts or in the more traditional, let's say, skilled work, be it plumbing or what have you, carpentry, etc. So it's essential to undergo a period of discovery, let's say. And there are many tools online where you can put in your preferences, you ask certain questions about what you would do in certain situations, and at the end of it, you would come up with a result which would kind of give you an indication as to the kind of person you are, because you'll be surprised how many people can't really list maybe 5, 6, 7 strengths that they have. And this would be the first bit of advice I would give to anyone. I have a son who is he's been working for some years now. He's in his early 30s, and the thing with him has always been know what you're good at. You know, you can focus on weaknesses and what have you, but if you do that, you become mediocre. So focus on the strengths, the things that you're good at, the things which interest you, and this is essentially the way to go. You know, you have to be aware of what floats your boat, let's say. You have to know what lights your fire.
Yeah. Is there a step-by-step guide to help you discover that? Maybe something practical that you need to do, maybe some questions you need to ask yourself. I'm sure you've been in this situation so many times that you're able to give us that kind of advice as well.
Absolutely. What I would say to anyone embarking on such a journey is to say, write down between 5 and 10 things that you like. 10 things that let's say interest you greatly. So it could be sport, it could be something to do with, I don't know, physics, engineering, what have you. It could be things to do with numbers, or it could be something more creative like art. List the things that really intrigue you, the things that make you, you know, they're all things that we like a lot. You know, there may be people that like cooking and things like that.
Things that you might call your hobbies, things that you like to do, yeah.
Exactly, things that you like to do, because what happens ultimately is that the situation that I've mentioned before, where people get into their late 30s, early 40s, they tend to go into a direction which they would have previously thought is only hobby-like.
Yeah.
And then they can probably make more of a success, actually, like this, because you're more likely to work harder at the things that you love to do.
That's so true. That's so true.
Yeah, and this is, you know, if you took a footballer, for example, most Premiership footballers, they would probably play for half of the money that they earn, believe it or not, because they love football.
Right.
You know, being a coach or mentor or helping people develop is something I can and have often done for nothing, because I like to help people and to see people develop. This is my thing.
Yes, and it's important to let people know that you're also an attorney, right? That you've been an attorney, you've also been in finance, and now you're doing coaching. So it's clearly something that you've decided to do.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And the thing is, my journey, I left school with a certain expectation, and I worked in the law for some years. And again, it's not to say it's the fault or pressure of my parents, because it was an interest that I had. But then once I actually got into the profession, then I thought, it's not really my bag. And then I kind of developed into more litigation and credit and finance and what have you.
Yeah.
But my day job, I've been doing that for the last 20, 25 years. And it was something that I actually wanted to do many years before. But I thought, well, I'm not qualified to do this. It was more of a confidence thing.
Yeah.
And then over the years, I've just kind of taken opportunities. I've focused on certain things to improve my own skill set, my own interests as well, and it's worked out. It's worked out pretty well.
You know what's interesting, Ben? I was just telling my producer off air that we're gonna have to call you back to have a personal interview with you, because you do have an interesting story. And I think that would be nice for us to talk about as well. As we close this one with less than a minute to go, Ben, try to wrap this one up. Somebody's listening right now and they're still unsure whether they've chosen the right career. You know, where can they go to get even more advice from you?
Well, I can give you the link to my website, or on social media, My Coach Ben. If you put that in Instagram or YouTube, it should come up, all being well. And you should see my face come up, fairly unmistakable. And I'm always open to a discussion. You know, I'm not somebody who's going to say, "Oh, my fees are X, Y, and Z." It's just, for me, it's about helping people first.
Yeah.
And that's what people can do. Get in touch, drop me an email, drop me a DM on Instagram, or contact me via Facebook. And I'm happy to have a chat. Because there is a process to go through.
Yeah.
But like most things, if you stick to it, you can get there. If you've got the ambition, if you've got the want, then where there's a will, there's a way.
There is a way. Thank you so much, Ben Green, a personal and career coach, mentor, and a diversity champion, for taking the time to speak with us all the way from Europe. We really appreciate that, sir.
You're welcome. Thanks very much for the time and for the opportunity to come on.
This is the 2 Live Crew.
This is 94.5.